Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This week we're going to talk about theory and real life application to leadership with that theory. Now, one of the things I want you to understand and work on understanding leadership is not static, it is lived, examined, and continuously improved. One of the biggest issues I have when I'm working with people, helping them develop their leadership is they feel as if their leadership, they have to learn something right then and there. And then what they learn is what they apply and what they apply always. Um, and that's not always that's not always the case. Okay. Um, so with my 3XP leadership, I take action, research, living theory, and intersect it in a powerful way. Okay. So the framework of my 3XP leadership, and some of you might have heard my framework or saw me respond in my framework with purpose, people, and process. When you add those together, they should equal performance, right? So that's the structured framework for how leaders operate with 3XP leadership. But with action, research, living theory brings that framework to life, right? So how do I bring that framework to life? I challenge leaders to ask the critical question: how do I improve what I am doing while I'm doing it? So, from a purpose standpoint, action research forces leaders to reflect on whether their actions truly align with their mission and their values. The purpose standpoint helps it eliminate performative leadership and replace it with intentional, value driven decision making. All right. So when you look at the people aspect, the action research living theory strengthens emotional intelligence, accountability, and influence. Emotional intelligence, accountability, and influence are things that leaders must constantly work on to master, to improve. Leaders don't just manage others, right? They examine uh, how should I put it? They examine how their own behaviors, their own communication, and leadership presence impacts their team dynamics and outcomes. So you should be examining yourself always in every situation as a leader. Okay. From the process perspective, this approach creates a cycle of continuous improvement. Leaders plan, act, and observe and reflect, and they consistently are refining systems and strategies, and then they perform that execution in real time rather than waiting for failure. Okay. So when you add that purpose standpoint, the people and the process perspective, this is what drives your performance. Not just short-term results, but sustainable, high-quality outcomes rooted in learning, adaptation, and growth. That's the whole point of my 3XP leadership, is not to just have short-term results, but to have those results over a period of time and continuously, even past you as the leader, right? So the impact is threefold. First, the impact of that, it improves the individual leader because it builds your self-awareness, your discipline, and your intentionality. Second, it strengthens your organization by creating a culture of reflection, collaboration, and innovation. Now, I know we're in a time where everybody wants to say, well, reflection, and we collaborate this way, we collaborate and we innovate this way, but I want you to understand that this all must work together. Third, it elevates the performance by and it does that by ensuring your decisions and actions are continuously aligned and measured and improved. So bottom line, when you as a leader apply action research living theory, and if you use it through it, I know you have to learn more about my 3XP leadership, but I'll say it like this: when I apply action research living theory and I use it through my lens of 3XP leadership, I don't just lead, I involve as a leader. And in doing so, I elevate everything around me in my leadership environment, and I elevate everyone around me and around them and my future leaders. Okay. So when you're working on it, when you're working on action research theory this week. I want you to think about those things. Okay. And I'll see y'all next week and we'll talk about our next module.